Hey, and welcome back to the channel, everybody. How are you all doing? In this video, I'm going to talk about making sure that you're getting some of your end play, etc., with the surge trolley axis, from your surge motor to your trolley axis, that you've got correct torque on your push rod. It's not over torqued. We'll talk about getting these washers lubricated and getting this torque correctly so there's not too much end play in your trolley rail system. An important part of your push rod installation, our rod that connects our surge motor to our actual surge trolley rail system, we need to set this up so it doesn't have too much additional slack where the bolt comes through the push rod, both where it connects to our trolley rail and where it connects to our lever from our motor. But what we need to do is you do need to washer this, both on the nut side and on the bolt side, because if you do this too tight, it's going to jam the push rod and cause resistance with the motor trying to push it. So you've got to find that happy medium. That's why using a Nylex nut is really important. Okay, because then you can get it torqued without actually having it too tight, and it won't loosen itself off. Well, it shouldn't loosen itself off. So what I'm doing here as a bit of maintenance is I am loosening it off enough to have enough slop, right, to get some lubricant between the washers. Just need to undo this a little bit more. And then I'm going to be re-torquing it. Right, so I just want these loose enough, enough slop in this to get lubricant between the washers. I'm just using a spray grease. So yeah, these two washers each side of your push rod, okay, we need to have them so then our bolt here doesn't have too much play, and there's not too much end play in the rod. But initially you need to have this loose enough to have these washers separated enough so then you can get a little bit of lubrication sprayed in between the washers on each side of the push rod. Just on the push rod side, wouldn't hurt to put a little bit on the lever side as well of the washer, and the push rod side on this one, and then just in between the washer and the push rod on the other side. Now the other important thing is to never work on your motor levers. For example, this is the surge motor. This applies to the traction loss motor or the front motors. If you have the motors running and have them powered, and you're doing maintenance like this, and you accidentally come in contact with the frame, right, that's linking to the other motors, you will take out your IBT2s. All right, so when you do any maintenance, you're using spanners and stuff like that where you could come in contact with the frame, never have your motors powered, any of the motors. Right, so I'm just going to spray some of this spray lubricant between the washer and the push rod, so that it provides lubrication for the push rod when we torque this. Okay, so now I'm going to torque this Nylex nut back up, so then there's no slop or end play or play in this push rod, so it's reasonably tight. All right, and there's no excessive play, but it will now have lubrication between the push rod and the washer on this side and the washer on the other side. So it keeps the play out of this, otherwise your surge can become really sloppy. You can hear there that there's a little bit of, you can see how this is moving. There's still a little bit of play in between the nut here and the rod, and too much, okay, that's still too much. So I'm going to put a little bit more on this. Now that's play's gone out of that, okay? But if you over tighten it, it's going to cause the motor to have to work a lot harder, because as this moves forward and back on the lever here, because the lever is so tight onto the push rod, it's going to bind in this area where the bolt's coming through. So you've got to find that happy medium between not having too much play in this, but not having it too tight. That's better, right? That's better. There's a little play there in the shaft. The whole play there is from the motor there now, and not just from this, okay? That's what you're aiming for, and I don't need to do the front one. I've already done that, but I just wanted to run a quick video just talking about this because it is really, really important. Any one of you peeps out there who are building this is something that you need to address. Otherwise, I can tell you in game, it's really sloppy and it gives you incorrect feedback when you're driving of how much of what's happening with your surge. You go from having a really nice, tight, accurate surge to a really sloppy, loose surge that is really distracting when you're driving and causes you to not drive as well as you could drive because you're not actually getting accurate feedback from what's happening when you're driving. Hope this has helped anyone out there who are building this design. You do have to do little tweaks like that as you continue to tweak different elements of the motion sim. Till I see you in the next video, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and take it easy out there.